How long is this actually? Oh shit. Hello, Docu. I'm gonna lie, I'm just trying to test out stuff because in the future I'm trying to do more different type of streams and I'm testing some stuff out. For example, like the ping bots that I installed in the Discord servers as well. I wasn't sure if they were working or how they would ping, or if they would ping duplicate streams or stuff like that. I'm testing that out as well. So far that looks fine, but the troublesome thing about that ping bot is that you can only add 3 channels to a server at a time if you don't want to pay money. So if in the future we get bigger, I might change the bot to something that's more free friendly. But this one does have a lot of integration and a lot of features. Just pity that it's monetized instead of a open source kind of bot. Try and use earphones. Listen to how loud this music actually is. And I see that it's not actually really picking up the Photoshop window that well. Okay, volume sounds fine. It's not too loud. So that's okay. How do I get this to show? I think maybe it's some anti stream. Why would Photoshop have anti stream? That means I can't show Photoshop. That sucks. Maybe it's like a copyright or a trademark kind of deal. I didn't know that you couldn't stream Photoshop. That's interesting. Oh wait, this works. I see, different capture method. So if you use, interesting. So if you use Windows 7 to capture, it doesn't show anything. But the newer capture version does indeed capture the entire monitor properly, so that's nice. Oh, I see there's some people here. Hello. I think the main thing that I'm going to try to do, like, with, you can see on this board here. On this board here, is probably just to maybe try and plan some better layouts. Because you can see from my stream now, the setup is quite scuffed. To be honest, like it's just even this one here, behind the Photoshop thing, is just a background photo that was drawn by my friend, and then webcam, with a makeshift green screen, and then chat and a link. So it's kind of scuffed. And although it's fine for like these kind of simple streams where I'm just talking and doing stuff behind, or maybe just a simple game or whatever, it's fine because it's simple, right? And I don't need many elements, but I'm planning to do more different type of streams. For example, like the productivity or study streams I mentioned before. So I know some of my friends are interested in doing that as well. So if I learn how to do that properly, if I do some practice myself and explore a little bit, I will be able to also make tutorials and stuff to help people make those kind of content. Right? So study streams or productivity streams can essentially be for some people. For example, if you have watched whole life productivity streams, I know who has recently done some. I think the most common one is Yofi. Yofi does a lot of productivity streams, a lot of drawing streams where she just draws a bit more with less interaction. She just draws like commercial stuff or things like that, while chat just does their stuff as well. And I think Mube had study streams as well. And who else? Ollie. Yeah. Productivity streams. The other type of productivity streams is like personalities that already have a connection with chat, and they will work on their stuff that chat somewhat knows about but not really fully know about yet because it hasn't been commercially released. And chat can just do their own work at the same time, maybe listen to some cute sounds or whatever, or maybe just cool music, things like that. So that's one type of study stream. But another type of study stream is like for what some of my friends are interested in. Maybe although the pandemic is kinda relaxing a little bit, like it's getting better, and many things are going back to physical modes of studying and stuff. But I imagine that as borders open up and friends have to separate and travel overseas and stuff like that, many friend groups will be sort of torn apart kind of deal. And having a study stream where maybe a few people stream together, or maybe one person streams and people just tune in together to just study together, whether it be unlisted or public or private or whatever, can be a nice way to spend some time together while chatting and things like that. So knowing how to do it with YouTube and Twitch, it can add a layer of professionalism, some satisfaction, and it'd be nice to learn a little bit of that technical knowledge as well. So that's something that can be applied through these sorts of productivity and study streams. As for me, I think I'm just going to use it as some sort of motivator to both produce more content, like to stream more, to edit more videos and practice editing more and stuff like that, as well as to motivate myself to study continuously, because I like to take a lot of breaks and study at odd hours. So by making progress and stuff through productivity streams, probably I might be able to focus a bit more, in the sense that things will be more concentrated, have more bursts of focus and things like that, which hopefully will increase my efficiency and stuff like that as well. And I can also introduce some of the nice parts of my school, which I am at now. Yeah, so that can be interesting. And it'll also be nice to sort of connect with some of my friends who are overseas and stuff like that, where we don't really have time to really chat with each other or stuff like that. But if there was like a study stream where we're just listening to music together, or just committing to studying or working together at the same time, that might be a good motivator for each other, and to sort of just some sort of reassurance, I guess, that still giving some sort of support, although like the friend group is so far apart, and so many things are changing every day. Maybe we might feel a little bit detached or a bit far away from what we used to be, but maybe something like that, which is visual, both auditorial or oral, auditorial, and visual at the same time, can prove to be something that can forge a meaningful connection, I hope. Previously, my friends have done something like a clock in stream kind of thing, where we have an app and you clock in the time that you're studying. So when you're studying, you just like press a button or something like that, and then all of you will know when someone else is studying, and then you will motivate yourself to study at time as well, to not fall behind and things like that. Or if you see somebody is studying like 10 hours a day, then you also want to study 10 hours a day kind of deal. So that was kind of nice, sort of something tangible. But of course, the drawback is that there's very little interaction. I mean, studying obviously has very little interaction, but at the times where you want interaction, those sort of apps aren't sufficient. It's just not sufficient. You just know when your friends are studying, but you can't like say, "Oh, good luck," or "how are you doing," or how have you been lately," or "how do you take a break," or stuff like that. There's no interaction element there, and also it's not as motivating when it's just a text that says, "Oh, XXX is studying right now," or "XXX is currently studying 6 hours 50 minutes," and the timer ticks. It's a bit of motivation, but at the same time, you might feel that it's just a clock, and then you need to open a specific app, and it's not something that it feels very extra sometimes maybe. But with a productivity stream, I'm hoping that for one, it will be the interactivity element here. Although, of course, while we are working or studying, the interactiveness won't be as much as a usual stream, where people will be actively looking at chat, playing with chat, or not that it really matters that much on my stream, since you guys don't really chat that much. But if there's something you guys want to say, you can always say that. And another element is the visual and auditory elements. There will be like chill music playing, so you can have a nice calm playlist without any lyrics or anything like that to distract you. While at the same time, if there are some occasional elements or like some chatting going on, then there can be that as well. While you can still listen to, or like a podcast style thing that you can listen to while you're still studying or you're still working on an assignment or tutorial or whatever. And there's also the visual element, where you can obviously see someone who is physically studying, so that you can actually see someone studying, and that will motivate you. Like for example, one of the alumni of my high school, like Jing Tang, right, does study streams in Beijing Dashi, I think. And when you see someone of that godlike status, like the kind of Sherpa, right, studying like that, oh my god, I just realized that the chat is overflowing. I didn't configure that properly. When you see someone like that studying, right, you really feel motivated to stream as well, to study as well. So the element, the motivation element is much more stronger there. Let's see. David, Wei Cheng, how are you studying, learning now, or at least plan to? Oh, I'm currently studying Node.js, and what else am I studying? I finished my Django project already, so that's one thing. But I'm probably still going to look deeper into that, like into SQL and API stuff for the Hololive project. But that one is still a long way to go, because I'm still trying to sort through the data. Because the annoying thing about sorting through Hololive music, right, is that it's not formatted very well, and most of it is Japanese, right? And Japanese music is also not formatted very well in regards to their trademarks, their copyrights, and their official names, lengths, and stuff like that. It's not very convenient to just write the script, throw it into a Spotify API, and just generate a list of tracks that are produced by Hololive or something like that. It's not that simple. a lot of it is not on the website as well. A lot of it is not on Spotify. A lot of it is not on YouTube. Some are unlisted. Some are privated. Some simply are named incorrectly, or some are not even linked. Or if they aren't, or if they are smaller projects, what constitutes as a song? How long must it be? How short must it be? Some For some pieces of music, whole life members, they consider it music created by themselves. Some of them treat it as not. Some of them treat it as shitpost. Some of them treat it as actual songs. It's very on a case by case basis. So I actually had to manually go through a lot of the data. So that's still a long work in progress. Currently, it's not going to be forever though. Currently, I'm still on Yogiri, to be honest, from Whole Life CN China. Yogiri, going through her old archives. The trouble is that her stuff was on Bilibili, and Bilibili is not archived by any open source services, obviously, because it's behind the Great Wall of China. But I'm still trying my best to dig back up as much data as I can from there. And I'm going through by debut date, by the way. So Yogiri is number wait, where's Yogiri? Oh, number 31. So I'm on number 31 right now. It's kind of halfway there. There are 77 members in total, including staff and basically anyone who has a channel. So that's still a long work in progress. But when I talk about, for example, study streams, I'm not necessarily going to show what I'm studying on stream, maybe, perhaps. For example, I might not show everything that I'm doing because, for example, I might be working on university stuff, and some of that stuff is confidential or available only to students who take that certain module, so I can't really show the problems that I'm working on stream. But it's kind of I will be working on them, and you probably will be able to see me working on them, but it's not so much of a teaching stream or a sharing stream kind of deal, but more of a listen to call music together, maybe a podcast or something like that, while we all work on stuff together and motivate each other, catch up and chat and that kind of deal. Wei Xiang, how do I give you a red super chat? Channel is not worth it. It's not monetized, obviously. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet, so I can't really enable anything, even ads. I don't have any ads, although sometimes when I click on my own videos, there are ads for some reason when I try to check stuff or try to edit stuff. Sometimes there's ads there, even though I disable all the ads. I guess it's just YouTube, nothing to do about that. But if any oil barons are out there trying who have disposable income to support my projects, you can of course, as you can see on the bottom right corner, I have a Ko-fi link that you can see is pretty recent. I set it up because I have some community projects that I want to work on that I might need to crowdfund, and I might need to crowdfund in the future. So for simplicity's sake, I just set it up first, and in the future when the community needs it, I can use it as some sort of a rallying point to sort of help the community gather funds or to help just monetize stuff, I guess. So that's that. Define productivity. Well, let's look it up on the internet. What is productivity? Productivity is defined by Merriam-Webster as the quality or state of being productive. So as usual, dictionaries are very informative. They tell you nothing by telling you everything technically correct. And productive is an adjective which is defined as having the quality or power of producing, especially in abundance. So once again, it redirects you to another word instead of actually giving you the meaning. Let's go look at producing. Producing or produce is a verb which is defined as to make something, especially by using machines, or to make or create something by a natural process, or to cause something to exist or happen to cause a particular result or effect. That's the definition on the Merriam-Webster online dictionary. So that's the definition of productivity, and hence when you see the productivity on my stream title, it means that I'm probably going to do something productive on stream. and there will be less focus on chat unless it's a special occasion, like now, for example, where I'm still setting things up, and things aren't completely done yet. Yeah, YouTube runs ads. This YouTube kind of thing. When are you going to share a preview version of your project? I'm interested. Yeah, I'm planning to do that once I get the bare bones version. So like an alpha, I guess, an alpha version. I first need to compile all the data first. Once I get all the data, I properly understand all the data that I'm working with first, because even before working on the project, right, I thought that music was very simple to make, like very simple to handle. Like I just look at the the Chinook open database. You can check it out. It's on GitHub, open source, very nice database that you can work with and learn SQL better, or like whatever database languages or interfaces you want to learn. You can use the Chinook database, very easy to use and very complete. And I could just do the typical stuff that a lot of labels do, like title, artist, produced by what credits, date, length, duration. Looks very simple, right? But as I actually went through and dug through the past of whole life and like went through all the history and stuff like that, I realized that there's actually a lot of different things I need to take into account. For example, 3D lives. What constitutes a live? What constitutes a concert? What constitutes an album, an EP, a single, a two-side, or whatever like that. And what the artists themselves, what the talents themselves call as an EP, whole life may consider as a single sometimes, because for whatever reason, communication or whatever, or systems or whatever. And Spotify has a different system of categorizing collections of music as well. For example, I think they just simply categorize by number of tracks and the duration of songs or something like that. So even things that are singles released by whole life, for example, they might be considered as an EP by Spotify because they are released together with an instrumental or an alternate version or a remix. Whereas for whole life, they are selling it as a single CD, so they might consider it a single on their website. And then the talent obviously only just releases a single song because they're only singing one song. Other two are like remixes and instrumentals. So as far as they are concerned, it's just a single song. So that's all of these elements to it. But before that, I see lag asking what the song is. Let me check real quick. What's the song? What's this song? I'm not sure actually. I'm not sure which one is playing right now. Oops. Yeah, it's not showing. That's another thing, right? In productivity streams in the future, when I want to play music, right, I want to set up like a bar that tells you the name of the song, kind of thing. Then you can see what music is playing when it's playing, and then like some visual elements. That would be kind of cool, but that's later, right? That's later. But anyway, back to the previous topic that I was mentioning. The preview version is a few months away at least, considering that our semester is going to start soon. So it's going to be quite a while away. But as I went through, start to understand the music a bit more, even now after processing like 2,000 plus entries, almost 3,000 entries at this point, I'm going to learn more and more about the type of music that's being released so far. Because now I've been going chronologically, so a lot of the older members, I've already went through a lot of them, and I expect the music to be more and more systematic as time goes on. However, we can only keep our fingers crossed because, for example, I think Izuru Kanade released a new EP for his birthday from Holo Stars. Released a new EP, and then all of the titles and the stuff formatting was really bad because it wasn't released to a label. It was sold exclusively for his birthday goods. So the formatting was terrible there, and then like very little information about those stuff. And then there's also the case where some music is only released exclusively on like private paid concerts. So how much information am I supposed to or should I be willing to excavate, right? Of course, I can find some ways to dig out information, like for example playlists or setlists, or actually music that was played in paid for uh, paid for events. But how ethical is that, or do I really even want to do that, or is that in the interest of the audience that I'm aiming for, and stuff like that? And questions like that are still things I need to answer. But for now, I'm still working on just getting the data nice and clean. So I'll focus on that first. After I finish that, I will create a simple API to at least get the basic information from the main table, and I will also create a simple form to like submit suggestions, so community can send submissions, not directly affect the table, of course that will be disastrous, but send suggestions on like where music is released and they don't see it in the table and stuff like that, or suggestions on how they want to improve the stuff, or how to raise an issue without going to GitHub, because not everyone knows how to use GitHub and things like that. So after I release that, I plan to release a Reddit post to gather interest, maybe get some collaborators, more people to help with the coding aspect, because I'm not that great at coding. I don't even study CS, as you guys know. So maybe get some interest, developers maybe can help out, get general enthusiasm from the fan base hopefully, so that when people want to maybe find music or see what their OGs have been putting out in the past up to now, it's going to be a very nice platform where it's consistent and complete. Right, consistent and complete. That's the whole reason why we create this in the first place, because when you go to the Whole Life official website, or you go to their Spotify, or you go to their YouTube channels, a lot of the music you can't really find it there. A lot of it is very poorly advertised. Some of it are on obscure channels, some of it are on automatically generated poorly spelled channels or things like that. So I hope to create a very centralized, complete and convenient database where people can build websites off of. Other people who are great at front end, we can just use my API to create like very sleek websites, or maybe integrate it into Discord bots or like things like that. So that is a hope. So after I create the skeleton, get all the data down, create a basic API for at least a get method and a post submissions or post suggestions method, then I will release the alpha version onto at least Reddit. Maybe get some help, get some funds, maybe hopefully, maybe to buy a domain name or things like that. Hello Yongzhe, hello. So yeah, so that's the plan for the Whole Life project, and I think those two are the main projects I'm working on, like this productivity stream thing to encourage myself to work more, and the Whole Life project which I am working on. Of course, there are other things as well. For example, I want to try and edit more highlights, edit more clips and stuff like that. In regards to the channel, maybe host some events and things like that. Anyway, the reason why I have Photoshop over here is because I want to plan the layout for the future stream. So the productivity stream, right? So the layout and stuff like that. It's been a while since I've last used Photoshop, but hopefully I still remember all the shortcuts and stuff like that. So I think I like to start off maybe with the color palette. I think a 3-color palette is fine. So maybe something 50%, 75, maybe 50%. 50%. I like a navy palette. Something deeper. Maybe not as dull. Tentative, something like this. Maybe a blue. And then I want a lot of, I guess, more white and maybe some gold. So maybe a very, very traditional, very safe color palette, because I know my artistic sense isn't the best. So maybe some sort of gold, some sort of gold and white. So very simple color palette. Majority of it, I like a dark mode. I like dark mode, so I want something that's easy on the eyes. Maybe a very dark blue base background, and maybe some gold for maybe certain highlights, and or maybe borders as well, and white for like text or um, what's it called? Subjects, not subjects. I forgot what's the thing called. For frontal elements or something like that. Yeah. This is the color palette. Um, with this in mind, probably just paint everything. Can use a swatch. Want everything to be I want the background to be a simple single color. Actually, this may be a bit too bright. I might like prefer something a bit darker, but I can always tweak that again later. So the things I want, and what the things I definitely want. Let me just create a new layer first, and then let me see what things I want. So let me just hide that. Things that I want requirements. So this is white. So black. So elements that I want. So obviously I want a webcam. So this is like visual representative of what I'm doing. So it's going to be, maybe I'm going to use my phone or maybe just my laptop webcam depending on where I am, I guess. So I want a webcam. I also want obviously chat, so it's like the interaction element. And then I would like maybe a clock. Clock might be nice. So like what time it is currently at my place, or either a clock or a timer. I don't think timer is great, but a clock is probably safe, right? Uh, just to keep track of time and stuff like that. So with the clock, there can be stuff that can be integrated together. For example, hydration checks, schedules. So something that's like a audio thing. For example, maybe I don't know what's the optimal amount of time to drink water. How often should we drink water? How often should I drink water? Drink water on a daily basis, but do it in a good measure. Uh, is there a time? Steps to follow. Blah 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 blah. Too much water, too little water. 8 cups of water a day equivalent to 2 liters. So how often is that? Thirst, water intoxication, more than 4 glasses of water. Cannot accept more than 4 glasses of water per hour. Um, how often should streamers drink water? I guess let's just put it a very safe 20 minutes, I guess. So I could do something like a in behind the scenes 20-minute timer, then there'll be like a ding and the element that comes out. So there can be an element that comes out, that maybe an icon or something to remind that you should just drink. Not that you should drink whenever you feel thirsty. True, but the thing is when you get very into something, when you're focused on something, you tend to forget to drink water, or you tend to ignore to drink water, right? Because, for example, when you're streaming, right, because you're talking, you always pretty much always feel thirsty. Because fun fact, uh, the condition, the hydration factor, or like the hydration level or the moisture level on the lips and your nose, actually significantly impacts how thirsty you feel, and it might not necessarily be how much water you need, and things like that. So a bunch of other stuff. Uh, Basically, just reminds you that you should drink water and not just keep studying or just watching YouTube or things like that. It's just a reminder. scary. What's that? Oh, it's a water lobao. Yeah, so maybe something like that might be fun. Uh, or even maybe not even just hydration, like maybe even just rest, or maybe break, like break reminder. For example, I think that's like what you can only focus on, like what 45 minutes before you need to take a 10 minute break or something like that. With something like a timer that can be beneficial to both me and whoever who is listening. Maybe that might be a good way to grow a habit as well, I guess. Because we know that as gamers or as our generation, a lot of us are used to working with our laptops or with our computers hours upon hours a day. Engineering students know the grind of basically just working on assignments from the morning until the next day morning, 24 hours just for one question or like something like that. So dying. Ah, choke on my own word. Ah, but basically just remind us to take breaks and not to be too intense. Dying. Ah, but yeah, remind us to take breaks, to stand up, stretch a little bit. Especially those are things that I guess we often forget to do, especially depending on where we are studying. So that might be nice. And schedules, of course, maybe that can I can make a very simple um, application. Or maybe I think there's probably even stuff like that that exists. Maybe you can just even use the Notion. I can maybe even just use Notion, set up a task list or a schedule to either show what I'm working on now or to show a list of things that I'm working off, and then I can tick it off and tick or like slash things off like that, just to mark progress or things like that as well. So that can be nice, or something to keep track of the times or goals of tasks that I want to complete and things like that as well. So it's a sort of a motivation factor. So those elements that can be tied in with clock. And of course, I want music, and I want maybe some visualization. I forgot whether British English uses S or Z already, or whatever. I don't really care. Um, Visualization, so you know, like those elements where, um, when you see oops, when you see like you see like a when you watch what's it called, some sort of karaoke video, or maybe just a EDM music, like there's a circle and there's like toots 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 or whatever, or maybe there's a bar, like bars that go up and things like that. But those are things that can implement just to make the thing more interesting, more dynamic, less static. Because when I'm focusing on stuff, obviously I'm going to maybe type on my laptop, or maybe work on a piece of paper, type on a calculator or whatever, and a lot of the things are going to be very static. And if given that I don't usually have many viewers, um, given that I don't usually don't have many viewers, then the chat will be quite static as well. So with a clock just ticking or something like that, maybe a bit too few things that are moving. So maybe some very subtle visualization might be nice, just to make the background a little bit more lively. Since I think I'm going to use some sort of a uh, blank base as a background. So visualization would be nice. And besides that, I also want like song names, and maybe transition animations. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So maybe some transition or animations as well, so that when the music is playing, when they're working on stuff, and you hear, oh, this track is a banger. So, well, what's the name? And then I hope I'm going to display it um, at some part of the stream. So that's obviously something that can be nice. I think that is very easily doable if I have a set playlist. For example, if I just take like some of Sharo's 30-minute loops, piece them together, and then make some sort of visual element in Premiere or something like that, then I can easily do that. But I wonder if there's a smarter way of doing something like this more dynamically. It probably would require some programming or whatever, that I can just play the music and then play whatever music, and regardless of whatever it is, there will be some way to grab the title from an API or something like that and display it on the stream. I probably just go with the video editing version, which is the more simpler and more direct uh, and fancier way to go, because I have more freedom. I can do a lot of things with that. I can just put in specific names, or like format it nicely, or add more cooler or more flary uh, transitions and things like that. So that's probably the way to go, since I'm going to do the visualization anyway, which requires editing. But then again, I can use some sort of website for that as well. Um, I guess that one is. Remember, it's Zach because it's more awkward one to type. I also thought it was Zach, but for some reason, whenever, no matter where I see or read or type, it's always S. But again, then again, most things are configured to US, so maybe that's why. Oshima. Um, I don't have anything to say to that. I don't know what to say to that. Okay, but yeah, so BGM definitely something that I want, and what else? I want links. So I already have a link tree where I put most of my public stuff on. So it's just a cultivation of links, and of course there's Kofi as well, in case on the rare occasion if some passerby or baron decides to buy me a coffee, although I drink tea, so maybe buy me a cup of tea. The notification or the stuff will actually appear on stream. So I can actually show that right now, I think. Let me test it. If I go if I go here, moment, let me just test it out to see what it looks like again. Settings, test, stream alerts, send a test alert. Is it showing up on the stream? Oh yeah, it's showing up. Yeah, so that's how that one works. So there will be a notification, so at least I will know if it does happen, because um, although it's primarily meant for like crowd community project crowdfunding and things like that, um, if it does happen on stream, at least I want an opportunity to be able to thank or maybe express my gratitude indirectly, or as directly as I can. So something like that would be nice. Yeah. So this links. So I think is that it? Is that all the elements that I want to include? Uh, I think that's a lot already, right? I think that's a lot of elements already. Elements. So this will be a sketch, and then I want maybe layout. So Yeah, I think that's all the elements. Not sure. Links will fit better in the description. True, if only people would actually read the description. Uh, yeah, I have always put links in the description, but I don't think anyone has ever touched those links before. Even for like for example in my previous chess streams, I have mentioned before like for example the links to certain chess studies or some simul or synchronized chess boards are all in the description, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody click on them. Well, I have seen one. It was from a stranger that randomly clicked on the link and then left. But besides that one person, that one random person, I don't think I've actually ever seen anyone anyone click on the link in the description before. So I'll put the description. Of course I'll put it in the description, but maybe something on stream as well because that's the only place that people look. Even in the comments, people seldom really look at it. But in my yeah, so it doesn't have to be there always, but um, having it from time to time, just as a visual element, might I think it would be something that I prefer. So with that in mind, probably um this is dynamic, right? Like this doesn't have to be always up there. This is also dynamic because this is to change. And then this is just a clock. This is just chat, which is just there. Webcam is always just webcam. And then these stuff are it's probably just audio cues, maybe, or maybe just a tiny element that pops up and slides back away, something like that. Like fades in, fades out at certain times. And this is just a static schedule thing, unless I want to make it automatically move when certain time or whatever. But that's not a really urgent matter. So we clean this up. So layouts with this in mind. First of all, probably just blank full blue color background, something a bit darker than this maybe. Then I want certain sections. For example, oops, for example, maybe I guess the most simple one is like a webcam, the top right corner. So maybe this is like a webcam. Then there might be chat here because for some reason when they're diagonal it seems to work best. So maybe just like chat. Then here can be like a clock. And here can have whatever dynamic elements, I guess. So for example, maybe if there is a reminder or there is some sort of jingle or maybe like coffee for example, maybe this can go here. Then you can jump up if needed. And then maybe whatever elements that pop out from the side of the screen and go back to the side. That might be nice as well. So like something like a water break or something like that, or like a icon or a symbol or whatever. And then here would probably be mainly for the down here probably for the links and the music. So maybe links or music, I guess. Music obviously is playing in the background, but maybe I want something like something like hmm, how do I put this? So for example, right, um, maybe it's like links now. So maybe it shows the link, right? Just a very simple link tree is static. Unless I use some sort of Twitch plugin to make it clickable. So it's just a very simple link. And then um, whenever I want. I can also make it like a like music name title whatever. uh, Music or like wait. Oh, that's dumb. So it's like a link, a static link, and then maybe at every 20 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever, it can like slide away or transition to the music that's currently playing, because music is going to be playing for a while, right? Considering that if I'm playing like 30-minute loops, or maybe like I'm doing now, like a whole couple hour playlist, then it's not going to change constantly. It's going to change every few minutes. So showing the title every few seconds would probably make it more noticeable, while also not diminishing the utility of it probably. So that would be something like that. And then I guess sounds good. Thanks. Nice. So that might be some sort of way to do it. And as for the visualizations, I guess depending on the space allocation, right? Because this is still rough sketch, but after measuring the proportions and stuff, maybe there might be some extra space or like too little space somewhere, and the visualizations can be just some sort of, for all that matters, right? It might as well be some sort of it might as well could be a just a large visualization with like music whatever that goes over the entire screen on the background, while there are other elements in front like covering it, so you can see like edges of like the bars and stuff like that going about. That could be one way to go about it. Or I could perhaps use it as some sort of way to spice up the borders. Maybe I could maybe make the borders vibrate or move according to the music as well, but I think that would be a bit too messy. uh yeah, that might be a bit too messy, right? Because if you imagine like a cross dividing everything, if it keeps fuzzing about, if it keeps moving, it's going to be very irritating. So I guess I prefer the lines to be clean and straight. Then maybe along the outer borders, like maybe on the base, like maybe here, maybe some bars or something like that. When the title is showing, to show that it's music, something like that, might be interesting. So like for example, the link is just a link, but when it's music, then when it's music, then um, it shows the bars at the bottom or something like that. Then when it's music, then it show the bars, something like that. That's some sort of way to do it as well. Yeah, depending on how I draw the borders and things like that as well. So that can be a plan. That can be a plan. So probably after this, I will start to gather music, start editing the all the elements and stuff like that, and then um properly measure the layouts. Maybe I can do a little bit of that now as well. I can do a little bit of that as well. So layout. This is a sketch 2, this is sketch 3. So on the actual layout, obviously the webcam is going to be a HD. Is it going to be though? Does it have to be? If I do, for example, currently, and you see me now because I'm using a blue screen, this is obviously not 920 by 1080. It's not high definition. It's cropped down a little bit so that it fits the blue screen and the elements a bit better, a bit well. But considering that If I do a productivity stream, it's probably going to be in my room or like in not my room probably because my room is probably going to be pretty bad. But like pretty bad, as in it's going to be a lousy room probably. Uh, Most of the time the streams are probably going to be in the faculty itself or like some sort of quiet area in library or things like that. So considering that, I might not want the blue screen maybe to show a bit of the school, let you see what sort of place I'm studying at. For maybe some friends who are studying in a different country as me, you can sort of kind of see how it's like over here and things like that, a bit of an interesting element. um, so in those cases where I don't use a blue screen or a green screen, probably probably I it will be 920 by 1080. So I guess that's very safe. So let's go ahead and set that fixed size, fixed ratio. So I want 16 by 9, right? I think 10 8 920 1080. Is it 1080 is 120 times 9, right? Or is my math so bad? Is my math very bad? No, it's not very bad. It's 120 times 9, right? So 120 times 16 is. Is it? 120 times 6 is 720, right? 720 and then 160 in front. Yeah. Okay, this is HD. So HD, then I will stretch it from here. And how big do I want it to be? I don't want it to be too big. I guess it can be pretty big because I don't really have that many elements. But there's no reason for it to be that big, to be honest. Um, Maybe first of all, I should change the size to like a default YouTube or a Twitch, no, YouTube, default YouTube stream size. Let me see how big that looks. Uh, Open YouTube. Time to pull out calculator. Yeah, I could just use the calculator, right? But it should be correct, probably. If it's not, then too bad. Yeah, it should be correct. It should be correct. So it's fine. Time to open YouTube to see how big the video player looks. Um, oh, like, just subscribe. Thanks. So it's around like this big, right? So it's going to look somewhat like this. I guess you guys are looking on the on YouTube screen already, or a Twitch stream already. So the size is a bit different. But wait, actually, this no, yeah. So it's roughly this big. It's roughly this big. Maybe slightly bigger. Oh, uh, too big, too big, too big, too big. Wait, wrong button. Wrong button. It's been a long time since I've used Photoshop. This is a disgrace. Wait, why is there a deceleration thing when I go up and down? If I go left and right, it's correct, but when I go up and down, there's some sort of deceleration. That's kind of weird. Anyway, it's roughly this big. So given that the stream is roughly this big, I guess how big do I want it to be? Maybe around. Actually, this is around here. Uh, should be good enough. I actually don't think I want it to be too big because the webcam is not that high quality, and there's not much point to looking at me anyway. I think so. I guess roughly. Let's make it a nicer number. Uh, the whole thing is 920 by 1080 pixels, by the way, for the board. So can I find a nice number? Oh, why isn't it latching on to a nice number? Can I just fix the size instead? Never mind. I'll just leave it like this first. I'll probably tune it later. So roughly this size is the webcam. So I'm just going to what should I do? Or maybe just going to put it black. Make it black. So this webcam. I'm gonna put text here. So this webcam. This webcam. We'll move it somewhere here. So this is webcam, and then I want like dividers. So what's the best way to do that? Maybe lines, pen tool maybe. How do I use pen tool again? So I draw a straight line, then I want to create from path. Shape. I want it to be a stroke, fill it with white. 1 pixel, let's make it 5 maybe. With height, it doesn't really matter. Stroke, yeah, it's a solid stroke. Oh shoot. Yeah, that works. That works. So I think I finish. How do I finish the path again? Can I just click away? Oh, it's a shape. I can always just rasterize, pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, problem solved. I can just move it over here. So now I have a white line. It's probably gonna be thicker than this, but for now it works. And because I don't want to go into that mess again, I'm just going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to just rotate it 90 degrees and extend it, I guess. Oh, I guess not. That doesn't work. Never mind. Then I'll just use the pen tool. So I'm just going to create a line. Oh, it's just different settings. Yeah, this one 5 was a bit too short. Maybe 10. Make it a bit thicker. I'll just roll with this for now. I regret rasterizing the layer. Let's make it 10 first. And I want a pen tool. And I want to make this white. I want the stroke to be white. I want it to be 10 pixels. And then I'm just going to move these to let it magnetically attach to the webcam. So we have clean dividers. What else is this? This is Adobe Photoshop. This is Adobe Photoshop. So I guess I'm just going to do it something like do a layout something like this. So actually, I think all of this can be done within OBS itself, from creating lines to backgrounds to stuff like that. So this is just a layout artboard just to accumulate all the ideas into one spot and separate on layers to have version control. A bit unnecessary. Illustrator is probably better for it, but I'm even worse at Illustrator than I am at Photoshop. At least with Photoshop, I have experience, so even though I haven't used it in a while, I still know how to do stuff. Whereas Illustrator is something that I haven't touched a long time and I don't use a lot. So that's probably more suitable, but this works. So Photoshop, what is it? So here there is a clock. So I'm just gonna type clock. Clock. It's probably good enough. Uh, this is good enough. And then there will be coffee bottom here, and then there will be some empty space here, especially when the things aren't active. So for example, as mentioned earlier, there might be some notifications like hydration check or break time or schedules. It's probably gonna fill this space, but it currently is looking a bit empty at the moment. So I might add the music stuff here, like the visualizations here. Or alternatively, I could add chat over here instead, because chat being in this small corner over here looks a bit sad. It does look a bit sad. So maybe if I move this down here, since it doesn't use a lot of space, and with the links here, with the links here, it might be a bit more, I guess, in line. This would be in the middle, and some this would be somewhere at the bottom though. So maybe they should be a bit lower as well. Then there can be some sort of visualization at the top over here. There can be some toots, whatever. So BGM visuals can be here, to make sure that everything is still snappy. Maybe. Uh, yeah. So maybe chat is here. Chat. Chat takes up a lot of space, so I think putting chat down there should be fine. And then there will be like a pseudo kind of area. Oh, I don't want fixed ratios anymore. I want normal. So maybe some sort of area at the top between the clock and the chat, where jingles can come up from the left and just hop in. So I'm just going to fill this with black as well. Oops, my bad. I need to go to layout, fill this as well, and then deselect text. Holy shoot! Oh, auto selected. When I thought I disabled auto select. No, it's okay. I can just go back to chat over here. Oh, it still auto selects. That's troublesome. But basically here are jingles, and I want this to be white color. Just move this here. Right. So jingles from the left hand side, so there'll be a small space over there, and then it will serve as a sort of kind of a hidden divider between the clock and the chat. So I guess that might be nice. I think that's probably going to be the rough layout. The color is going to be a bit darker, and maybe things like the visualizations, and maybe maybe the border might also be gold, or maybe just white and blue. Dark blue might be good enough, because I don't know. I feel like blue and gold, navy blue and gold fits very well. Given that they are of course opposite color. What is it called? What's the artistic technical term? Complacent, not complacent. Composite colors, or what is it? The 互补色 or something like that. I don't know. I failed last class, so the opposite ends of the color wheel, so they will fit each other nicely. But when it comes to actual elements, besides small highlights and flourishes, they don't really add much. They don't really stand out too well. So I think I prefer white color for those. Maybe I'll add some dynamic elements, like maybe some sort of like, you know how certain videos when they do transitions they have like small crosses or like small dots that just pop up and pop off, pop up, pop off, to just catch your eye a little bit, to show that things are moving when they do transitions. Maybe I can add that as a very half transparency with a slight gold, like a twinkling star kind of effect, to make it more dynamic and not so plain, not make the background so plain, I guess. Oh, so something a bit like Cronies stream. She actually, I think she has some of that. She adds a bit of a chime, wind chime, or some sort of complementary. Yes, complementary colors. Uh, Crony has this sort of a very nice setup where she also uses very cool and very embossed style colors, and with the time and all that. So she adds like a chime and a bit of the ting 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 kind of sound in in conjunction with like these white and these white elements that sprinkle throughout the streams that make it look very grand, very elegant kind of feel. So maybe I'll add a bit of that, but maybe not so elegant. I'm just going to go for something a bit more subtle, a bit more like a touch, a little bit of spice, something like that, a bit of cinnamon to the muffin or something like that. Um, so yeah, that's probably going to be the plan for the for for the layout. So I guess I'll work on that behind the scenes. I'll do the editing and stuff. And soon after the semester starts, I guess you can expect to see them. I'll probably do this on a regular rate. Schedule isn't determined yet. That's why I haven't posted any stream schedules for January. As usual, Saturday night for my time, 8 p.m., there will be the chess streams with Meridian. Since we just finished the group stages, but there's still a lot of knockout games to go, and I think Flair is also preparing to host another tournament soon, or maybe Volaf is preparing to host a bi-weekly tournament. So these streams can also serve as a recap or an analysis moment, educational moment where we can go through the games together, analyze some of those chess games that we play in our bi-weekly classical tournament. And yeah, as for when I'm going to do these productivity streams, it will largely depend on the tutorial slots and on the classes that I'm able to get, and when I actually work on my tutorial sheets and stuff like that. So yeah, all in the future at the moment. Right, and I think I've said all that I wanted to say. I've done all that I wanted to do. It's almost midnight. I'm still going to wake up early tomorrow to make sure that they don't forget my breakfast. If any of you follow me on my personal Instagram, you know that I've had a lot of missing meals lately. I've written a lot of emails to ask about what's the problem with that. But apparently, they asked the staff and they supposedly sent it, but they didn't somehow. So I don't know what's going on with them. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. They told me that they will try to get some sort of evidence that they have sent it next time, so that it won't happen again or something. I don't know. Hopefully, it doesn't happen again. Fingers crossed. So yeah, I think that's all. Thanks for all of those who came to drop by, have a chat, ask questions and stuff like that. It's very nice to chat with you guys like that. and see you guys on Saturday. Yep, Saturday is the next stream where we first get into the knockout stages elimination bracket of the Atlantean chess tournament of 2021. Which reminds me that I actually have to go and select the games pretty much soon. Yeah. Alright, okay. That's all. Bye, I guess. Oh, hi, Shen. Is it Shen or is Shen? Oh, hi, Shen. I have a friend that's named Shen, so it's Shern. Shern. So I see Shern and Shem. It looks very similar, especially when I'm looking at my phone in the corner of the table. So it looks very, very similar. So thanks for coming, Shem. See you. And oh, you're on Twitch. That's unusual. I think there's only like three people who like to use Twitch. Most of the people who like to use YouTube because I guess it's more convenient, maybe. But yeah, see you guys. Bye.